all the juice straight from the maker booth. Welcome to the Booth Juice.
Welcome back to another episode of the Booth Juice. Today I am joined by a true Port Douglas local, a creative genius, and one of the sweetest people I've ever met.
Aww.
Please welcome Janet Morris.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a real honour.
I am so excited to hear more about your life as a multi-passionate artist. Now, I say multi-passionate because I know that your career has really spanned many genres.
That's right.
Could you tell me a bit more about you and your artistic life?
Oh, my artistic life, I guess, has just it's stemmed from being an observer and a creative, and that started as a very early age. So my creative journeys spanned from being an interior decorator to an interior designer to working in conjunction with architects and also art. So and I've also been always interested in fashion. So
fab.
I think those four things, art, architecture, interior design and fashion, are all aligned because you've got an appreciation of, the way, the light falls on something, or the way a fabric falls, or the way a texture works with another texture. So I've just always been an observer, and it's always resonated with me that I just appreciate beauty. I really appreciate beauty, whether it's in nature or the built environment or decorative items or art, which is where I fortunately ended up.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And you grew up here in Port Douglas?
I grew up here from the age of 13. I was fortunate enough to live in a beautiful part of Sydney, Pittwater, and so my youth or my childhood was all beaches, boats, fishing, bushwalks. So I've always been exposed to the natural world, and it was sailing that brought my family here in 1974.
Oh, that just gave me goosebumps. That's so sweet.
So my dad, mum and sister and I, we sailed here in 1974, and
amazing.
I've lived here pretty much ever since. I've had time away, living in both Melbourne, Sydney and the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, but here is home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And your family, particularly your dad, has had a lot to do with development in Port Douglas?
Correct, yes. So going back to as early as 1973, we purchased the land out on the Captain Cook Highway and Port Douglas Road, which is now IGA, and the wildlife habitat. That was a cane farm, and we operated that as a cane farm for many years.
Wow.
And so that was, Dad could see that was an amazing location. It had the lovely little inlet coming through there, and so.
Oh, that's fantastic, because I feel like it hasn't been that long since that time, and it feels like it's completely different to a cane farm now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you add up the years, it actually is.
Yeah.
Because it's 50 years ago.
Yeah,
it's over 50 years ago since I came here.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot. And our family's also done or created the wildlife habitat, which was the rainforest habitat.
Yeah.
What is now Ramada, which was treetops. What was the, I think it's it's a Mantra. No, the big one that was.
I can't keep up with what everything's called.
Ridges now, I think.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So lots of things, and most recently, Escape Villas.
Oh yes.
So
stunning.
That's what we.
If anyone has opened a Port Douglas magazine, you probably will have seen some beautiful photos.
Exactly. We're a big supporter of the magazine as a way to promote our amazing villas.
Yeah.
and we have them for sale for rental and for holiday rental and for
beautiful.
sale.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that's good to know.
Yes, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Yeah, so architecture obviously plays such a big part.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
So did you say you started with architecture, or did you start with artwork? You know,
I started
more?
with interior decorating.
Oh, yes, okay.
And I've got a funny story about that because I realised at a really young age that it was what I was interested in, because like I was at boarding school in Townsville and all the other girls would get their Dolly magazines and they'd have to hide them because, you know, they had, or Cosmopolitan or Clio, they'd have to hide them. But me, nope. All I wanted for my birthday was a subscription to Architectural Digest.
Unreal.
At the age of 15.
I love it.
So,
no wonder you and my mum get along so well.
There I was looking at amazing fabrics and French interiors and American interiors and everything, and all the other girls,
that's
more interested in, who's the latest hot boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, wow, that's awesome. So
yes.
Townsville,
yes,
right.
I went to boarding school in Townsville for 2 years. I had 1 year at Mossman High.
Yep.
Year 10 and then year 11 and 12 in Townsville.
Fantastic. So then did you go on to study?
I went on to uni with my then husband, my late husband, Chris. We both were passionate about staying together.
Yeah.
So he gave up going to Monash, I think, and chose to come to Townsville to be with me.
That's beautiful.
He stood the course and I dropped out after a year because I wanted to be an interior decorator, didn't I?
Amazing.
And coincidentally, my family got involved in a wallpaper manufacturing company and we ended up having a retail outlet in Townsville.
Wow, that's so interesting.
So I ended up working in the wallpaper and ended up being a fabric store as well, and we ended up doing all sorts of interior.
Wow, so that probably would have just opened the doors
Absolutely.
to the entire art world. Yeah,
That's right. That's
fantastic.
Right. Yes.
So then I have only really known you well since I've had makeup, which has been about 6 years.
Yes.
And just want to sidebar, thank you, because you've been such a beautiful supporter of my store and me as a young person in the community. So thank you.
Well, I think what you're doing for this town and for all local suppliers and makers and creators is just such a beautiful thing to do for our community. And it rounds out our local retail because we don't want to just be seen, I think, as being, a town by the sea that has surf clothes and fancy restaurants and everything. We do have a creative element in our community.
Absolutely.
And you're giving the town that opportunity to display that.
Thank you. That is so nice of you. Oh, that's really sweet.
No, go Rain.
But where I was sort of going with that is that I've sort of only known you as an oil painter.
Correct.
So how long have you been oil painting for?
Okay. I'll go back to the beginning of where I was actually started in acrylics, which was just after I sold my interior design practice, Island Point Interiors, and I finally had the time. So I actually spent some time with another local artist, Chrissy McLaughlin, and she gave me some wonderful tuition on acrylic painting and watercolour painting. So I did that for probably the next 2 years.
Yeah. And what year was this, sorry?
We're talking 2018.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So just before I met you.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And then I was like a sponge learning about all the different mediums that you could be using. But I was always a little bit afraid of oils. I just thought, this is all too darn scary.
It's. I think a lot of people think that oils are hard up here because it's so humid. Does it take a long time to dry?
Look, if I didn't have an air-conditioned studio in the summertime, it would stop me. But the air conditioning definitely helps.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Having said that, when I do have if I've got a deadline, and I don't have the time for all of those layers, and because you're constantly putting background and layers and texture and everything on top of it. If you don't have the time for that to dry, I do go back to acrylic.
Oh, right.
So I did an exhibition in Brisbane last year in June, and I was only given 5 weeks' notice to create quite a lot of a big body of work. So I actually went back to acrylic.
Fantastic.
And I actually had a lot of fun with it. So I think it's important as an artist not to get too stuck in whatever medium you're working with. I mean, I'd love to explore a little bit more with collage and putting, that lovely rich texture that you can create with collage. But yeah, I'm not at all. I do not sort of think, it's lesser because you're using acrylic.
Oh, yes.
I just like oil because you've got a lot of liberty once it gets on the canvas to move it around.
Cool. So you've never, not an artist at all, full stop, but I've never really got to work with oils much, so it's always fascinated me, the process.
And obviously the thicker the oil is, as in the less terps you use with that, with your oil, the longer it's going to take to dry. So to get the lovely rich brush strokes where you can see every individual brush stroke can sometimes take a long time to dry.
I bet. And now a lot of your artwork is, I feel, very inspired by the ocean and the Great Barrier Reef, would you say?
Absolutely. The ocean, snorkeling. My family have always had boats, since I was a baby. So obviously living up here, it's obvious we go out to the reef. My sister's a marine biologist, and she started reef biosearch with quicksilver. So we've always had a lot to do with the ocean and snorkeling. So I guess my underwater reef paintings are, they're not only inspired by recent trips, but it's just memory. They become totally imprinted in your mind, those images that, you go down and you take a photograph with your brain and and that's a beautiful part of your process too, I suppose, like having that mindfulness, slowing down, really appreciating what you've grown up with. And the same can apply to whether you're not snorkeling, but you might be walking on the beach at dawn, or you might be walking through the rainforest and listening to the birds, or seeing, a beautiful leaf that's just got an amazing vein through it, or a butterfly. I don't know. It's just about observing and keeping those images in your mind that you can go back to the studio and recreate that feeling.
I do feel like all of your pieces encapsulate that for sure, like whether it be still fruit or or a flower in a vase or anything, you do really capture that.
And light is the other thing that is one of my big I'm passionate about having really beautiful light, and that early morning light, that late afternoon light, or the way sunlight just might pass through a vase and create this incredible sparkle.
I can relate with that with photography too. I definitely look for the light when I'm capturing photos too. So you mentioned that you exhibited in Brisbane last year. Did you have any others last year as well? I think there was one in December.
Yes, I did one in December, which was it was a one-day exhibition because it turned into it was with Jay Jackal, the environmental artist, and she wanted it to be a fashion show plus an art show, all about streetwear and the big message about the environment and climate change. So she feels that my art sits into that the right pocket there, because we align well with our. I show the beautiful side of nature and how fragile it is, and how we need to protect it. And her art and her streetwear is the edgier version that gets that real message across about how important it is that we pay attention.
Unreal.
So while I was at that exhibition and showing my work, in fact, actually, it was I'd done a paid Instagram ad because I don't often do it, but I just thought, gosh, I'm only here for one night. I want to get as much exposure as I can out of this. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I did a really, really reasonably priced Instagram ad, and I thought, oh, well, let's see how it goes. And as a result of that, I got an inquiry about one of the paintings I was showing, and is this for sale? And so I said yes. And anyway, this person didn't ever come to the exhibition, but she bought it just from the Instagram ad. And it's funny, that person who is Sonya Driver from Eco by Sonya, the amazing organic skincare range, she was telling me that she had decided that she wanted to have an exhibition in London, and she wanted to have an Australian artist. She was talking amongst her team, saying, I want to have an Australian artist, and I want that person to show off how amazing Australia is and our nature and how beautiful it is and everything. And she blames it on the algorithm of Instagram that all of a sudden my painting started popping up on her Instagram feed. And so she started looking through, and she found me. So
that's unreal.
That's kind of the way that whole thing segued into.
Oh, what a butterfly effect. That's so cool.
Exactly. And like the power of social media, yes. And then, the scary algorithms that go on.
Well, this is the thing. I feel like a lot of people complain about Instagram, but this is a positive story of Instagram, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's we're getting the feed of what we want to talk about, what we want to hear. So, okay, I know that can sometimes limit perhaps what else you see.
Yeah.
But
at least you're honing in. And so then that obviously opened a door to exhibiting in London, which is incredible. Can you tell us more about what was involved in that? How did you prep?
Okay, so the Eco By Sonya team have an amazing team of women who I worked with. They created a storyboard based on my existing paintings that I already had.
Yeah, right.
And the way that they wanted their product to be presented in London, in the other side of the world. They wanted to show the purity, the organic nature of what they create and what they have in their product, and have that reflected. So we had a lot of meetings over the phone and by Zoom, and basically I was commissioned to create a body of work that had to fit on certain walls, and so I did have constraints. And at that point I wanted to work in oil, so I said I need to know exactly what I have to create, and I've got to do it as fast as I can. So I had about 7 weeks to create this body of work.
How many pieces did you have to do?
I had 8 pieces in total.
Wow. Yeah.
The largest being 1.2 by 90 centimetres high. And I got it all done in time. Our lovely local framer here, Perrin Clark from Port Douglas Picture Framing, did all the framing for me.
Fantastic.
Packed it all up, and DHL shipped it all to London.
Wow. Were you terrified?
Terrified.
Shipping something across the world.
I know. At least there was no glass, there was anything like that, and
that's good.
They did an amazing job packing it up. So the day I arrived in London at the store, I walked in. I couldn't believe it. There was all my art hanging there in Notting Hill.
You made me cry, Janet.
In Notting Hill. All this, beautiful blues and aquas and everything. And they were going, oh my gosh, it's so blue, isn't it? It's so blue. Oh, we're not quite sure. And then once they got it all hung with all of their product, they just said, it's our new favourite colour.
Oh,
so
I'm I want to say proud, but that's not the right word. I'm in awe of you. It's so cool.
Look, it's just the way our planets aligned.
Yes.
And it worked. And I was prepared to go over there myself because I just thought I can't miss this opportunity.
That's what I was going to say. How did you go? Did you get to go to like the opening and all that sort of
Yes,
thing?
so we had an opening, which was attended by I don't know how many hundred people. It was massive. It was really
saw footage
special.
of people lining up down the block.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
incredible.
Phenomenal. It was phenomenal. They had catering by Ottolenghi. It was very fancy.
Yeah.
But really beautifully done. And then we had a function the week after for when Sonya had arrived, for Sonya to meet her, the CEO, and to meet myself. And that was an invitation-only thing, very small, and that was lovely.
What an amazing experience. It's so cool to see a Port Douglas artist being recognised.
Oh, thank you.
Globally.
Yeah. Well, what
really
I
cool.
felt so proud of was that I was able to share the beauty of Port Douglas in the grey skies of London and actually talk to people about it and, sell the Port Douglas and North Queensland Barrier Reef, Daintree Rainforest story, because the paintings weren't just of the reef, they were also of our beaches and rainforest. And so one other little story that I have to share with you was that I walked into this beautiful gallery, which was set up with all of the Eco By Sonya product as well. And she had a little corner which had about half a dozen small paintings that were ones she had collected from Marketplace. Oh. So, she'd paid $10, $5, $20, whatever, little tiny things, but they're all very Australian. Okay. And one of those was a beautiful watercolour by Jeff Whitehill, who, as you know, lived here in Port Douglas, painted St Mary's Church down here.
Oh, wow.
And I walked in and I saw it, and sure enough, Jeff Whitehill there. It was a print, it wasn't an original, but beautifully framed. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you've got that. I have that exact one in my own home as well.
Wow.
And I was also taught watercolour by Jeff Whitehill.
Wow.
And also the fact that I got that beautiful print at the wake for Jeff Whitehill at the local yacht club.
Wow.
When his family were giving out all of his old prints, and that's where I got mine. So I just felt there was so many, it was like the planets were just going, oh, you too, spooky, da 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 da.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being on, wow.
Yeah, so she was blown away when she heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's just incredible how the world works, isn't it? Yeah, we often have like people wander in here and you start chatting and next minute you found 5 connections or something. So
well, Sonya remembers coming to Maker.
Oh, does she?
When you were down in Grant Street.
Oh, that's so
Grant
sweet.
Street?
Yeah, that's correct.
When you were down there, she remembers that.
Oh, that's so nice. I so did not expect her to remember that. Obviously, I remember that.
Oh, she's got a memory like a steel clap. So,
Oh, that's really wonderful to hear. Oh, I have to send her a message and see if she wants to come on the podcast.
Yeah, you never know.
Next time she's important. Yeah. Oh, wow. What a fantastic... Wow, what a great few years.
Yeah. So that's been lovely.
So have you got any other exhibitions or anything coming up that you're working towards?
Well, we have, I'm part of Port Douglas Artists, which I think your mum is as well. And there's an exhibition in September, October, which is got the, I guess the theme, Northern Illumination.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
I love that title.
Yeah.
All about, it's the north, our beautiful tropical environment, and light. And there, as you know, I spoke about it earlier.
Your favourite things.
My passion is light, and I really am excited about that. So I'm just I'm doing a few sketches at the moment.
Yep.
Working out what I'm going to put into that, but I'll be starting to do that.
Will that be like one piece, or do you get a few spots?
We'll get a few, I'd say. It depends on how many I can produce in that time. If I go large, it'll only be maybe 1 or 2. But if I do my smaller ones, like the light that comes through these little florals, still life florals, I could do quite a whole collection of them. So I'm just working through that at the moment.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It'll be wonderful.
It will be. It'll be wonderful. So yes, Port Douglas Artists is a wonderful powerhouse of incredible artists.
Yeah.
We're very
Truly.
blessed with the talent we've got here in our local community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Janet. I would love
Rain.
to end this episode with a piece of advice, maybe something you live by, something for someone who wants to get into art.
Okay.
Is there something you can leave with
sure.
us today?
Yeah. I would say my biggest thing is to be still a little bit in nature so that you stop and observe and don't just rush past. It's so, in our busy lives, it's just so easy to keep rushing and not observing what's around us. So it's the stillness and the still moments where you can not just look at it, but really get into that moment and let it really resonate with you and stay with you. And if you are inclined, take a photograph. I'm all about taking photos with my phone as often as I can.
Yeah.
Or walk around with a sketchbook. You can have a little tiny one, or you can go to a big one.
Yeah.
But I always have a sketchbook with me. It's my, and even if it's just to write down something, or it doesn't have to be a full-on sketch, but I do sketch often and draw.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
So
an
there we are.
awesome piece of advice. Well, thank you again so much.
Thanks for having me, Rain.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
I could talk to you all day.
Really good.
We will be in your ears very soon, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the meantime, if you'd like to find Janet, what was your Instagram?
I'm Janet Morris Artist.
Fabulous. Go and check her out, give her a follow, and I will also link in the show notes some of the Eco by Sonya exhibition because it was just absolutely stunning and you should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you, Rain.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
for having me.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.